Hey there! I just received in the mail today a Deering Gooodtime Banjo Resonator Refit kit, and I'm going to attempt to install it on my Gooodtime Banjo. I did a lot of research on YouTube, which I'm kind of a fan of how-to videos on YouTube, and I could not see any videos on this particular topic, probably because it's a little bit unusual of a thing to do. Refit an open back banjo with the resonator, but hopefully a few people out there might find this useful. Reason I decided to go with the resonator is because I'm fairly new to the banjo. Been playing guitar for many years, but just picked up the banjo in the last year or so, and I bought the open back Gooodtime banjo because it was the cheaper one of the two options, and started playing it. But what I realized was what I really like playing is picking bluegrass, which is normally done with the resonator banjos because of that extra punch and projection. So I thought I'll give this refit kit a try and see how it goes. What you get with the kit is pretty nice. It comes with this really beautiful resonator. I don't know if you can see it. It's a really nice piece of maple. And then you also get an armrest, which I don't know if that's necessary with the resonator or not, but that's a nice little upgrade with these, what they call bent hooks to fit it, and a nice little Deering sticker along with the instructions. So let's go ahead and try to put this together. First thing I've noticed is that the resonator, which is this round piece of wood here, comes with a flange already attached. The flange is this metal piece here, which seems like kind of a handy way to get the project started. Problem is you have to take this apart to put the flanges on because the nuts have to screw up through the back of these holes. So the first thing that we have to do is take the flange off if it comes like this. Take this metal piece off. That's pretty easy to do with just a Phillips screwdriver. There's 4 Phillips screws here. Should come right off. One of the videos that I also watched says that I think this is the one about replacing the head on your banjo from Deering. Says that the resonator is a very handy place to store your screws and bolts when you're working on your banjo. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. We'll take these screws off of here and store them right down here in the resonator. So now that we have the flanges off, next thing to do is to put them on the banjo. They recommend doing this one side at a time because you're going to have to loosen all of these hooks that hold the head on there, and if you loosen them all at the same time, the bridge would slip around, the head would get loose. It's going to get loose anyway, but I think this just helps hold the whole thing together. One thing I'm going to do, I just want to listen to the sound that a good tight head makes. So I'm going to have to take it, loosen it, put this on, tighten it back up. I want to know kind of, see if I can sort of remember that tone. I need to come back to that when I'm done here. And I'm just going to set this down like that. There's a big wide opening in the flange for where the neck goes. And this is going to help me remember which side to put this on. So this flange here is going to go over here on this side of the banjo, of the pot. So to take this off, you need a 9/32 inch wrench. And that's really the only two tools I think you need for this whole project, is a Phillips screwdriver and a 9/32 wrench. So I'm just going to go around here and take each of these nuts off. So now we're ready to put this flange on, and hopefully the holes are going to line up and it'll go right back together like it was to begin with. And then we'll do the other side. Okay, this is looking pretty good. We'll just get these finger tight. There, I got one side of the flange on there. I'll tighten it up just a little bit. I'm not going to worry yet about getting it in tune yet, because I still have to do the other side. Okay, now that we've got the first half of the flange on there, go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. We just take these little bolts off and nuts off, and we're ready to do the other side. Now, the other side is where the armrest is going to go. So before we completely put this back together, the armrest is going to be installed with the same basic hooks that go on the rest of it, except they have a slight bend to them. And so what we'll do is, after we put the flange on, we'll have to use those, put the armrest together. Then we'll do this to a point, and then the armrest will come in when we get around toward the tailpiece. Let's just go ahead and work on that now, so that we don't have to redo it. The instructions say you do have to finesse these in here a little bit by pushing the flange around. You don't want to force it. But anyway, the instructions say you skip the first hook to the left of the tailpiece as you're looking at it. So this is my left. You skip the first hook. It's going to go up in here. Then you install it on the second one. And I guess I can see why that bend is in there, because so it hooks on pretty much the same as the other hooks, except you feed it up through that slot. I'm going to do the other one next to get my armrest all there assembled. That sounds really good to me. And the last step we have here is just putting the actual resonator those 4 Phillips screws. And it's pretty obvious which side goes which way. Obviously, the wide gap here is for the neck, so we'll just put this on here. And then they said it does take some finesse to get the screws all lined up properly. I can see that. Oh, there's actually a ledge that it needs to sit on. So they say you do not want to tighten these too much until you get them all 4 back in there, because yeah, there's a little kind of a gap. Well, and there you have it. I now have a beautiful Deering Resonator back banjo. I guess you could say this is really now the Gooodtime 2, which I think is pretty much the same as the Gooodtime with the resonator. And hope this was helpful to some people, and I will see you next time.